Did you know that some people have gotten really good at keeping a problem going? I've seen it. Maybe you've never seen this at work, but let me unpack something, and maybe while you're at work, you'll see this. I have literally seen problems pop up at work, right? And I watch certain influential people keep the problem going, not because of anything else, but if that problem continues to persist, it keeps them relevant in their job because they have a need or they have a fear that if that problem goes away, this job won't need me anymore. Oh yeah, we can actually break down and start to analyze human behavior based on what people keep going around them. Right? If there's always chaos around certain people, it's probably a safe bet that they don't know how to live without chaos. They haven't figured out how to function without problems. So they look for problems and they gravitate to them. And I've seen this happen so many times where it's easier to keep a problem going than to be the person that comes to work every day and says, you know what? My job is to work myself out of a problem because my value is in the fact that I know how to bring solution. As opposed to seeing that a problem could be fixed, but I'm going to find and create more of a problem and exacerbate the problem and find 9 other people to talk about the same problem on the next 9 calls. And I feel like I've worked all day today. No, you haven't. You've just spent an entire day talking about one problem in 9 different ways. That's not work. That's called chaos. Anyway, think about that while you're at work. But here's the kicker. The kicker is, if you're going to be a person who's going to start to focus on being solution-based and action-oriented while you're at work, while you're building your side business or whatever the case may be, here's a couple of things I want to give you. Because if you do these things and make it a part of your habit, in fact, I'm reading a book right now, The Power of Habit. If you haven't heard of this book, go pick it up. Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business. Go check it out. It's a really great book. The Power of Habit. It's a great book. Charles Duhigg. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Charles Duhigg. I'll put the book in the link in the description below. But listen, we have got to become the ultimate version of solving problem person in our life. If you want things to take off in your life this year, if you want to find out just how much of a bad woman or man you are, start getting good at bringing solutions now. There's no reason to wait. Every problem that arises, because they will show up, you know that already. If you've been alive 2 seconds, there's a problem going on in the world, right? The reason, let me give you some context from an industry standpoint. Tesla was named the most efficient and economic something automobile company on the planet. Because there's one thing that Elon Musk, a Jeff Bezos, these powerhouse people, there's one thing that they have in common. They're actually trying to solve a problem. There are going to be a million problems that pop up, but they approach those problems with solution-based thinking. They don't approach problems to just talk about a problem. The problem pops up. Look at it this way. Years ago, Elon Musk said, I want to create an eco-green friendly automobile company. I'm going to build the first luxury electric vehicle. Now, 10, 12, 13 years ago, that was a joke. Luxury and electric vehicle? Get out of here. Nobody's trying to hear that. Therein lied the problem. Not only the problem wasn't just people's mentality towards it. The problem was technology. The problem was the how. The problem was financially. The problem was getting an entire human race to believe that this is even possible. But Elon Musk and other people who actually achieve stuff in their life, they don't focus on the problem. They focus on waking up every day and saying, I'm going to work one step closer towards the ultimate solution. Because they wake up every day as a human saying, I am solution-based, period. Would you like to be able to know exactly what you need to do to scale and grow faster your side business? Well, look no further. You should jump into right now the Side Business Challenge. That's right. The Side Business Challenge is where it's at. I'm actually helping you as a corporate professional build and scale your side business faster, because that's the name of the game. I know you've been looking for a place to, how do I take what I'm doing and actually make it work to be creating a real revenue generating business? Well, join thesidebusinesschallenge.com. You do not want to miss it, because when you jump in, it's 5 days, 1 hour where I am helping you build a successful side business. I'm Chris Williams. I built my first successful side business to over 6 figures, and I've helped countless people do the same. And now I've got a challenge just for you. You know you've been wanting to build it. You know you want to make it for real, and you want to make it something legitimate that at least, what if all it did was pay all of your household bills? Could you imagine being able to go to work every day and all of your household bills are paid without leveraging your job money? Oh yeah, I can teach you that. And inside of the Side Business Challenge, I'm showing you how to level up inside of your career so that you show up in a big way. Yes, having that side business will teach you so much more than just money. Jump into thesidebusinesschallenge.com. I look forward to seeing you there. Yes, tell me the problem, but let's have a conversation about how we're going to solve it. Not 9 hours of the same problem now compounded into 12 different things. You've played, the telephone game, right? Or, and 12 people in a circle, you pass one thing down to one person, and by the time it comes back, it started out, the train is black, and by the time it got back to that person, there's a blue sky with pinwheels in it. Nobody said anything about a blue sky and pinwheels, but it's because we like to interpret things based on our filter, and then our filter is the way we speak to the next person. So we conflate things that really shouldn't be. Thus today, the most powerful electric vehicle is the Tesla Model S. It is luxury. It is awesome. And what did it do? It forced and pushed every other automotive company to follow suit. Ladies and gentlemen, there's more electric vehicles on the planet now than there were 15 years ago. Do you not think that Elon's ultimate solution-driven, action-oriented life has created one of the milestones in human history? I would say so. It doesn't matter what you think and like or dislike about a person. What you gotta respect about people who bring solutions to the market is that they are willing to do it day in and day out and not waver based on the next problem that shows up. So while you're at work, you got to start being a solution-oriented person. You got to start being the man and the woman of action. You got to start being the person that tires from talking about a problem. even if you got to say so out loud. You've got to become the person who's more focused and entrenched in being intimately familiar with solution-based thinking. Let's talk about how we do that. The first thing you got to do is get a clear understanding of the actual problem, not people's assumption of what they think the issue is. See, if we don't start actually asking better questions, we will never get down to root cause. Those who are engineers, those who are heavy into like code and those types of things, they're really good at root cause analysis. They have to be. Would you want a structure that is going to be 80 stories tall to not be foundationally strong enough to handle 80 stories of a structure and thousands of people going into that building a day? I think foundationally, we would want who's ever working on that to be root caused. They're solution oriented. They're focused on the solution to the problem of how do we put a building right here that is strong enough to hold 80 stories above it. Don't you think you'd want that person focused on the solution and not just the problem? I think you would. Happens around us every day. You've got to show up to work like that every day. You also got to show up at home like that every day. Yeah, I'm talking about home life too. Absolutely. Because the one thing I know is that for those of you who are starting or exploring or looking at building a side business, if you do not become the person of value at home who's saying, I bring solutions to our problem. I am strategically thinking about, I know every day from this time to this time, the kids are at school, but from this time to this time, they got to be somewhere. How can I get more efficient about making sure that they get where they need and picked up and brought home and get dinner and all that stuff on the table and get them to bed on a certain time? You have to become a person of solution instead of just complaining about how busy things are. You got to start saying, what can I do to make this process more efficient every day? Ladies, y'all are really good at that as mamas. Let me just tell you that right now. Let me just tell you that right now. Go ask a woman how to become more efficient when she's starting to care for, especially a single mama. A single mama can, my God, she can get a whole lot done, right? But my point is, you got to start becoming a person of solution every day, like right now. Whatever that problem is at work, whatever that thing is that's happening right now, whatever that issue is that you're dealing with at home in life, become a person of solution. Put it this way, start stacking up. And if you got to write down 10 different things that you can do as a solution to that one problem. Get clear on it. Don't use assumption. Don't assume something. Go find out what the actual problem is. And then turn off that dialogue of the problem and turn on what can we do about it now. And here's the thing I want us to think about when we start thinking about solutions. A lot of times people, and this is number 2, it's easy to get caught in a trap talking about solutions with the assumption in your mind that somebody else is going to fix it. Did you realize that you can actually own a lot of the things that are happening around you, but just ensure that you're leading the charge on getting it done? As opposed to saying, well, here's a solution, but that's going to take this person, this person, this person, this person, so we're not doing it. No. How about if it's going to take those 2 or 3 people to get that thing done at work, why don't you lead the charge and go talk to those 2 or 3 people so that that thing actually gets done? See, that's a different level of showing up to work every day. But it will bode well for you as you build your side business. That's just a skill set that you gotta build. That's an action lifestyle that you've got to start creating more and more and more in your house, in your everyday life. You've got to get better at solutions. That's number 2. Number 2 is turn off the problem when you get clarity and start writing down as many solutions that are possible. Number 3, in order to start becoming more of a solution-oriented person and ensuring that you take care of the things that you need to, here's the 3rd thing that you got to do. And this is just as important as 1 and 2. You have to start moving now on the options that you came up with as solutions. You know, one of the interesting things that I have found that people do at work all the time. Most of us have been incentivized since we've been in elementary school, by the way. We've been incentivized on right and wrong. Did you get it right? So if you got it right, you got a gold star, right? If you got it wrong, you got an X. If you did right, with this particular assignment, you got an A. If you didn't, you got an F. If on and on, right? Like we've incentivized right and wrong. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be thinking about what's right and what's wrong. Here's the one thing that we've got to change as an adult, right? Because unfortunately, corporate has also taken that same way of thinking and pushed that on employees every day. So thus, many people won't try something because they're afraid of getting it wrong. So here's what you got to do. After you come up with a list of possible solutions, you need to take immediate action on going and trying those solutions. Why? Because if you want your side business to ever be successful, if you want to be successful at work, if you ever want to go even to full-time entrepreneurship one day, if that's what you desire, some people don't. And I don't blame those who don't. Don't let people shame you because you don't have a side business. That's not a thing. But if you don't start learning to experiment with multiple solutions and being comfortable with failure, you will always play it safe. And the safest game that a lot of people play at work is getting somebody else to do it so that if it goes wrong, it wasn't me. That game is being played right now as I speak. As you're listening to this or watching this live on YouTube or wherever you're watching this, that game is being played right now. I'll talk about it, but I ain't going to help out with the solution because if it goes south, I don't want my name in it. My name Bennett and I ain't in it. We've heard all that kind of stuff that we do, right? And we watch people deflect responsibility and ownership for fear of being wrong. Never once thinking about sometimes we learn more in what we fail at than what we actually get right. Some of you know from a sports perspective, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, greatest point guard I've ever seen walk this planet. He crossed a huge milestone. Over 200,000, just shy of 3,000 3-points made ever in history of the game of basketball. He passed Ray Allen, who owned the top spot. You know the number that we don't like talking about, though? That's a great number. We don't like talking about how many shots he took. Right? So we love talking about, oh, Steph Curry is finally passed Ray Allen for the most threes ever made in history. You know what you should be focused on? How many shots did he have to take to cross over 3,000? Oh, that number is over 7,000. Yeah. By the way, it's more than that. I would say it's probably closer to 12,000 shots because no one's counting how many shots he's put up in practice. How many shots he's taken since he was in high school and in college. See, Steph Curry passed Ray Allen because he was willing to fail enough to get there. That's an interesting concept, failure. One that does not get promoted at your job too well. Trust me, I know. We don't promote failure because we look at failure as catastrophic, because why? Because we've been taught since elementary school right and wrong. And somebody determines what right is, so you're always going towards that person's right. As opposed to realizing that the greatest learnings you will ever have in life is when you fail. When you fail at something. Do you know why failure is a great lesson that you can learn from? Because it means you actually attempted something. That's why failure is great. It's because at the end of the day, the billionaires, the millionaires, those who are having a great life, who've had people who have a full life experience are trying so many different things and they're failing at a lot of stuff. But when they look back at their life, they're like, man, I'm so glad I did it. Because they're learning things. See, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of times we get into our corporate jobs and I just want a safe role. I don't want to rock the boat. I just want to keep doing my job. I just want to go to work and I want to come home. But you're also miserable and you're frustrated. Tell me how that works out. You've suppressed your ability to feel for being safe. When a problem pops up at work, you deflect. You don't even show up to the conversation to figure out how to solve the problem. Because you don't want to risk being wrong. Well, I'm sorry. Some of the most important, impactful people have shown up to create and do some of the most incredible things that have ever been done in human history because they attempted it. Hey, did you know that as employees, there are 7 big mistakes that we are all making before getting fired, downsized, or laid off? And I wanted to share those with you and teach you how to level up in your career. You can get that by going to www.twac.live/7 mistakes. You and I have been making some egregious mistakes when it comes to our career, and we got to stop making them. I want to provide you with this context, things that I have learned throughout my career that are going to help you. So go to the website, twac.live/7 mistakes, put in your name and email address, and download this free PDF that'll teach you of things that you and I can stop doing and start leveling up our career. Back to the episode.